everybody. Welcome to today's live. My name is May Duldola, and we are continuing on page 27 in the book Memoirs of Extraordinary Popular Delusions and the Madness of Crowds by Charles Mackay. And the chapter we're in is the Money Mania, the Mississippi Scheme. We're starting on page 27. My name is May Duldola. Like I said, I live in Honolulu, Hawaii with my husband, Jamel, and our 7-year-old son. Condo in Waikiki and another 1-bedroom down the street. But back in 2011, I had over $48,000 of credit card debts, and I worked a job, and I had a negative net worth, and I didn't own any property. Okay, hi, Jordan. But by 2016, I quit that job because I had paid up all the debts, improved our family's net worth had improved by almost over $500,000, and I was making almost $500 a month in passive income. My last day was December 23rd, 2016, working a job. Started coaching clients to do what I did, which is to create financial freedom. And that basically means you don't have to work for money, and that more and more of your time is spent doing what you love. Less and less of your time is spent in the process of making money, okay? Hi, guys. Welcome to the live. So I'm going to start reading and continue reading this chapter. I'm reading this book every weekday until it's finished this summer. It's like a summer reading project. Go to my blog, yesfinanciallyfree.com. Put in your first name, email address on the right side. You get a free ebook, Working Parents Guide to Financial Freedom, sent directly to your inbox. And you also get on my email list where I email out what I'll be reading about. I have links to everything. But there is a link in my blog to this book. This is a free book. It is an older book, so the copyright is free. So you can read it for free. So I have a link to the book, and it is highly recommended by financial advisors, people who are financially free. It is quoted by financial gurus many times over. So this is a book that you should definitely invest time to read and get to know, okay? So we're going to read it together. I've never read it, so this is the first time reading it with you, okay? Just as a brief summary of where we've been with the book, there's a guy named John Law, okay? Professional gambler. He basically spent all his family's wealth, became a professional gambler, and an outlaw in his country because he won a duel, killed a man, so he had to run away. Interesting way laws and things work back then. But anyway, he ended up becoming friends with a lot of other gamblers. One of them became a high-ranking person in the French government, where he decided to create a land bank, John Law, with that friend's approval. The land bank was very successful. And then he decided to open up a company to buy shares in exploration of America, Mississippi, basically, and to share in any profits. Now, he hasn't even gone yet. They haven't even gone to America or anything. They're just selling shares in the company. And he's becoming very rich because the shares of his company are hugely valued by people because they respect him so much. They believe that he will make this profitable, and people have done crazy things to get shares, including murder, pretending to have accidents to get his attention, all kinds of things. So that's what we were reading about. And the last time we read, the country was doing really extravagant things. Like everyone's lifestyle was going up because everyone was making all this money, easy money. Aloha. And because of the easy money, people were doing crazy things. And the government even spent a huge amount of money to just keep this diamond, this really expensive diamond in the country. So they're wasting money, basically spending tons of money. People are just, so here we go. Thus, the system continued to flourish till the commencement of the year 1720. The warnings of the Parliament that too great a creation of paper money would, sooner or later, bring the country to bankruptcy were disregarded. The regent, who knew nothing whatever of the philosophy of finance, thought that a system which had produced such good effects could never be carried to excess. If 500 millions of paper had been of such advantage, 500 millions additional would be of still greater advantage. This was the grand error of the regent, and which Law did not attempt to dispel. The extraordinary avidity of the people kept up the delusion. And the higher the price of Indian and Mississippi stock, the more billets de banque were issued to keep pace with it. The edifice thus reared might not unaptly be compared to the gorgeous palace erected by Potemkin, that princely barbarian of Russia, to surprise and please his imperial mistress. Huge blocks of ice were piled one upon another. Iconic pillars of chastest workmanship in ice formed a noble portico, and a dome of the same material shone in the sun, which had just strength enough to gild but not melt it. It glittered afar like a palace of crystals and diamonds. But there came one warm breeze from the south, and the stately building dissolved away, till none were able even to gather up the fragments. So with Law and his paper system. No sooner did the breath of popular mistrust blow steadily upon it than it fell to ruins, and none could raise it up again. The first slight alarm that was occasioned was early in 1720. The Prince de Conti, offended that Law should have denied him fresh shares in India's stock at his own price, sent to his bank to demand payment in specie of so enormous a quantity of notes that 3 wagons were required to transport. Law complained to the regent and urged on his attention the mischief that would be done if such an example found many imitators. The regent was but too well aware of it, and sending for the Prince de Conti, ordered him, under penalty of high displeasure, to refund to the bank 2/3 of the specie which he had withdrawn from it. The prince was forced to obey the despotic mandate. Happily for Law's credit, de Conti was an unpopular man. Everybody condemned his meanness and cupidity, and agreed that Law had been hardly treated. It is strange, however, that so narrow an escape should have made both Law and the regent more anxious to restrict their issues. Others were soon found who imitated, from motives of distrust, the example which had been set by de Conti in revenge. The more acute stock jobbers imagined justly that their prices could not continue to rise forever. Bourbon and La Richardière, renowned for their extensive operations in the funds, quietly and in small quantities at a time converted their notes into specie and sent it away to foreign countries. They also bought as much as they could conveniently carry of plate and expensive jewelry, sent it secretly away to England or to Holland. Varmelet, a jobber who sniffed the coming storm, procured gold and silver coin to the amount of nearly 1,000,000 of livres, which he packed in a farmer's cart, covered over with hay and cow dung. Then he disguised himself in the dark, dirty smock frock or blouse of a peasant, and drove his precious load in safety into Belgium. From thence he soon found means to transport it to Amsterdam. How funny is that? Here as though no difficulty had been experienced by any class in procuring specie for their wants. But this system could not long be carried on without causing a scarcity. The voice of complaint was heard on every side, and inquiries being instituted, the cause was soon discovered. The council debated long on the remedies to be taken, and Law, being called on for his advice, was of opinion that an edict should be published depreciating the value of coin 5% below that of paper. The edict was published accordingly, but failing of its intended effect, was followed by another in which the depreciation was increased to 10%. The payments of the bank were at the same time restricted to 100 livres in gold and 10 in silver. All these measures were nugatory to restore confidence in the paper, though the restriction of cash payments within limits so extremely narrow kept up the credit of the bank. Notwithstanding every effort to the contrary, the precious metals continued to be conveyed to England and Holland. The little coin that was left in the country was carefully treasured or hidden until the scarcity became so great that the operations of trade could no longer be carried on. In this emergency, Law hazarded the bold experiment of forbidding the use of specie altogether. In February 1720, an edict was published which, instead of restoring the credit of the paper, as was intended, destroyed it irrevocably and drove the country to the brink of revolution. By this famous edict was forbidden to any person whatever to have more than 500 livres of coin on his possession, under pain of a heavy fine, and confiscation of the sums found. It was also forbidden to buy jewelry, plate, and precious stones, and informers were encouraged to make search for offenders by the promise of one half the amount they might discover. The whole country sent up a cry of distress at this unheard of tyranny. The most odious persecution daily took place. Privacy of families was violated by the intrusion of informers and their agents. The most virtuous and honest were denounced for the crime of having been seen with a louis d'or in their possession. Servants betrayed their masters. One citizen became a spy upon his neighbor, and arrests and confiscations so multiplied that the courts found a difficulty in getting through the immense increase in business thus occasioned. It was sufficient for an informer to say that he was suspected any person of concealing money in his house, and immediately a search warrant was granted. Lord Stair, the English ambassador, said that it was now impossible to doubt of the sincerity of Law's conversion to the Catholic religion. He had established the Inquisition, and after having given abundant evidence of his faith and transubstantiation by turning so much gold into paper. Okay, we're done for today. Have a great day, guys. Aloha. Take care. See you again next week, Monday. All right. And if you're a fan, thank you for being a fan on Facebook. I appreciate you. And if you are on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel and check out the blog. Okay. And I will see you again Monday. Have a great day. Aloha.